Hello everybody and welcome back to Across the Line. Once again, you are joined with me, Tom, and the magnanimous Zach.
Hello.
I've been reading a dictionary, I've been trying to think of new words to describe you. This is our Japanese 2024 Grand Prix race predictions. We're filming this on the 3rd of April. This is flying by already, and we have not seen anything so far. It's also in Japan, which means it's going to be pretty early hours in the morning. We've got our time zones right this time. So, Zach, let's start off with the pole position for the race. Who are you going to be giving it to?
Okay, so you said we've not seen anything. We have seen one thing, and that is a predictive weather report.
Yes, that's true. We have seen the weather,
what it's likely to be conditions-wise, including through qualifying. I'm going to go with the driver I probably would have gone with regardless of weather, and that's going to be Max. I expect him to come back strong this weekend, but he is good in the wet. He's proven he's good in the wet. And that Red Bull earlier in the season, you just pointed out to me before we started recording, was fast in the wet. So, I'm going with Max Verstappen for pole.
Yeah, no, I've done the exact same. Max Verstappen on pole. I think it's a very likely scenario to happen after the DNF in Australia. He's going to want to come back with some vengeance. Some piss and vinegar is going to be flowing through his veins. And we've not seen these cars in wet running yet. It seems that it's going to be a wet weekend. Let's hope for that. Let's hope for some weather variable conditions, whatever. No, the only time we've seen this Red Bull in the wet was at the shakedown at Silverstone. And for those who have seen the video, it sounded like a flipping rocket ship. So Max on pole for the race, but who's going to win it? What have we got down for our top 3 drivers? So, 3rd place, who have we got for 3rd?
I've got Lando, another driver who, Spa excluded, has proven that he can be quite good in the wet. I think he's a good driver in the wet. I think the good result for them last weekend. Did well at Suzuka last year. I just fancy a McLaren to do quite well.
Yeah, I'd like to see good old Lando up on the podium. He got 3rd, obviously, last time out in Australia. So I've actually not put him down for 3rd place. I've gone for a rather boring, albeit somewhat predictable podium, not considering the weather. I've gone for Sainz, 3rd place. I reckon Carlos has been on top form lately. I think you'll see why I've put him 3rd, because the other 2 are the most predictable candidates for 2nd and 1st, arguably. 2nd place, 2nd step on the podium, one off the top. Who have you got down?
I've got Checo. I know he had a bad race last week, but I think some of that is, I think he doesn't drive well under pressure. And when Max went out, I think all of a sudden the pressure lands on Checo, and I think that he underperforms when that's the case. I don't think that's going to be the case this weekend, that he's going to be under as much pressure, so therefore 2nd place Checo.
Last year, he DNF'd. This year, I think he's going to finish 2nd as well. I put Checo down for 2nd step because I think this Red Bull's going to be pretty damn good around here this weekend. Nothing else really to add on that. Checo, 2nd place, and taking the first top step on the podium. I'm assuming we've both gone for Max Verstappen. Him. Yeah, he's...
Max. Yes, yeah. I've gone Max first.
Mm-hmm. Likewise.
Similar reasoning. Bit between his teeth. Wasn't happy last week. He's just going to come back, isn't he? He's just going to destroy.
He's going to lap everyone twice. It's just that sort of level of dominance that I think he's going to want to display. Not that he was necessarily angry in Australia. I just think he's going to be like, right, I've lost a race. I'm not winning. I'm not going to lose this one. I'm going to win it. Biggest winner of the weekend. Who have you got down? Driver or team?
See, it's a weird one because we consistently put Max and then Checo in 1st and 2nd, but we don't really consider Red Bull to be the biggest winner of the weekend because of the expectation, I think.
It's already there.
I've gone with the biggest winner of the weekend to be my choice of 3rd place, and that's Lando Norris. I think if they could get back-to-back podiums, that would make Lando the biggest winner of the weekend.
I agree with that. Purely because my biggest winner for the weekend, whilst not being Lando, I have put down McLaren. They did really good around here last year. They, double podium. They got Lando 2nd, Oscar 3rd. I can see them somewhat replicating this success. Maybe. I don't think they are as strong as Ferrari. However, with the weather conditions, maybe they could sneak up into 4th, 5th, maybe even get on the podium again. Who knows? But I think their package will be pretty good around this circuit this weekend.
You've kind of hedged your bets for points, haven't you? You've gone like, I'll
yeah,
go with
yeah,
Sainz podium, and if that comes in, I get some points. But
Yep.
if McLaren happen to sneak it, I get some points there.
Tactical play. All about the tactical play. Biggest losers. Who will not be playing tactical this weekend? Who have you got down for biggest loser?
I've put him a few times as my biggest winner, but I think the pressure is on, and I'm actually flipping. I've got Daniel Ricciardo as the biggest loser of the weekend. I think he's gonna. I think Yuki's gonna outperform
home Grand Prix for Yuki.
Home race, and I think it's gonna put the pressure on. If Yuki scores points and Daniel doesn't, I think the questions start really getting asked. So I think Daniel's gonna be under pressure. Yeah, if he has any kind of spin, if the weather's not great, he's struggling in the dry at the moment. I've got Daniel down as my biggest loser.
That's a good one. That's a very spicy take. That's going to be some conversation that we will have this Sunday. Biggest loser on my end is a team that I hold quite close to my heart and want to do well. However, they haven't been doing good since 2021. That is Mercedes, who I've put down as the biggest losers of the weekend. Now, we know they did pretty bad in Australia. Their package hasn't been very good as of late. Their car is going in a direction that they don't really know which way it's going. And Suzuka's a fast circuit, but it's also got slow speed turns and medium speed bends as well. It's a all-round track is Suzuka. It's quite a tricky circuit. So I don't think that Mercedes is going to be good, especially Sector 1, which is quite fast and twisty. Moving on. News story of the weekend. What have we got down for what we think is going to be the biggest news story of the weekend?
And this is partly because of what happened last weekend with George, and it annoyed me a lot. And thinking back to 2022, Suzuka with Gasly and the tractor on track, we're going to have bad conditions. I've got that there's going to be some sort of FIA safety controversy where they maybe don't do things quite right. I just think they're going to prioritize entertainment over the safety of the drivers.
Very good news story for the weekend. That I think that's.
I hope I'm wrong. By the way,
I mean, yes.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Mine's not as controversial as that, or maybe it could be. Depends how you want to read into it. I've gone down for Red Bull. They are bringing updates this weekend, and I think they are going to work wonders. I think there is going to be some upset from other teams that this upgrade, this package, is going to be ridiculous. They're already gapping the field pretty big. And I think this is not going to help. And it's going to cause some upset. And I imagine people will be talking about how the championship is over once again, despite Carlos Sainz winning in Australia.
Sometimes they have the opposite effect. They'll do a change and it won't quite work out as well as they were hoping.
If that does happen, I'll change my prediction for the news story. I should have just said Red Bull updates and then just left it as vague as possible. But I've been
too late now.
Too specific.
Too late.
Moving on to our last two questions then. My favourite questions, personally. Safety car, yay or nay?
Yay. I also don't think I've actually answered nay to this question once.
No,
but
neither
yay.
of us have. I have also put yay as well. I think a safety car is likely, if this weather is to be, what it is saying it's going to be, safety car is almost inevitable. And with there being a safety car, there's usually going to be some DNFs. How many have you put down this weekend? Bearing in mind, every weekend so far, we've been one out every time. That's between us.
In my defense, I think I put 4 last week and 16 cars finished the race. So I don't think I was a million miles away.
Yep. But
which is why I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna say 4.
Okay. Well, I think this will be the first time so far this series where I will also be putting down the same number as you. I'm also going to put down 4. I nearly put down 5 because obviously there were 5 DNFs last year. Maybe the weather will spice things up a little bit more. But yes, I'm saying 4 DNFs and a safety car as well.
Before we wrap, I've got one final question that I'm willing is worth a point.
Okay, bonus question.
Predict Sauber's longest pit stop at Suzuka.
So we know they're going to struggle. They've already come out and said that they haven't solved the issue. Their longest pit. We got to predict their longest. Yeah.
Pit. Yeah. Let's see if we can get their longest. I'm
gonna guess 48.7 seconds.
That is long. I wasn't going that high. I'm gonna go slightly higher than what I was gonna go. I'm gonna go with 22 secons.
So shall we give the point to the person that is closest?
I think you gotta be within 5 seconds.
Okay, for the point. Okay. Yeah. No, that's
within
very good.
5
very
seconds.
Good. This could be a new weekly reoccurring thing. Actually, that's just reminded me. There was something I was going to introduce, which I'm going to introduce right now. So this is bonus content. Predict who's going to finish 7th.
George Russell.
I'll go for Lance Stroll. Yeah, first being so predictable. Let's see if we can guess 7th instead. So that will be a new segment that will be staying. But that is going to be it for our predictions for the Japanese 2024 Grand Prix. Hopefully it's a good race. Last weekend, there was no race, so there was no good racing last weekend. But Australia gave us a new winner. Will we have another different winner this weekend? Zach, we don't think so, do we?
I'm just hoping that the rain makes it slightly exciting.
Yeah, that's all we want. I just want a good race. I don't mind it. I don't mind Max winning. Just make the racing good, please.
It'll be dry now. It'll be dry. We based all of our predictions on wet, and it's just gonna be sunny day.
Yeah. So there we go. We'll speak to you guys in the next episode. Thank you very much for listening and or watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, goodbye.